All right, make sure to pace yourself because this next talk is absolutely breathtaking. This next speaker knows a thing or two about creative endurance. Please give it up for Socrates Charisis.
Hi. How many of you have run a marathon or intend to do so? Raise your hands. There you go. Okay, got a few. Right. This is me back in 2016 running my first marathon in Athens, of course. And this is me running my second one back in 2017. And this is us running another marathon all together for 8 years straight. It's called Quintessential, and I'm really here to talk about it today. But first things first, I'm Socrates. I come from Greece, and I flew in from Athens. So we have Socrates, Athens, Greece, and I'm here to talk about marathons. Socrates, Athens, Greece, marathons. I'm so sorry about it. I'm here with all of my ancient references. I'll try not to go that deep into that path. I'm a designer. I build my ideas, and I do community things. I lead the Friends of Figma Athens community for a few years back home. And a fun fact about me, I dropped out of the computer science department of the Athens University of Economics and Business to try and test my own economics and my own business out there in the wild. Luckily, that led me to co-found Quintessential back in 2018, a digital product studio where we design and build software from the tiniest, most fragile idea up to a fully working product that serves a market need. And I promise you, ever since we started, I'm still learning about things I had no idea I didn't know. Pretty similar to the Socratic paradox, all I know is that I know nothing. But let's stop there, all right? We built the studio in Athens, not in London, not in San Francisco. When we started, it was just 3 of us, no clients, no network, no playbook, and the country was crawling out of a long recession. The talent pool was thin, creativity at the bottom, and of course, craft was average. It still is in some parts of this area, but that's for another keynote. We started anyway, see where this takes us, focused on the studio, and, see where we will end up. And ever since we started, the world hasn't held stood for 5 seconds. It was the tail of that recession. It was a brief recovery, and then the pandemic, all right? And then a hiring boom that ended up in massive layoffs, and then the ultimate geopolitical noise across Europe and the rest of the world, and even Twitter became X, right? Okay. We had Brat Summer, Drake went after Kendrick, and the World Cup is happening in the US. I'm so sorry for some of the US friends, but that's too much to suffer for, all right? But here we are at the config stage, all right? 8 years in, we work with clients across North America, Europe, the continent. That's why you see UK there. And of course, Greece. We support visionary individuals, startups, and large organizations bring their ideas to life, and of course, transition in the new era. And I can confidently say that we've made it, all right, up to a point. Endurance is kind of our middle name, because we're hands on the work, throwing ideas to the wall, see what sticks, and we move on. You see, endurance for us is not about just grinding it out. We endure because we keep on moving, we keep on creating things. When the ground keeps moving, you have to stay creative with every part of the business, hirings, processes, FTEs, managing the clients, training your teams, managing expectations, everything. And that's how we do it. However, you can't do this alone, and you can't do this if you're not committed to a few principles. And that's why I'm here today, to talk about 3 genuine practices, the kind of mindset we hire for, what we do to protect creativity, and of course, how we pace without burning out. Fun fact, we do, but we keep bouncing back. There is a particular type of person we hire for. Makers first, day job second. People who've been building something on the side for years, not because anyone told them to, but because they couldn't help it. People who own things before anyone tells them to. That's the only type of person who can run this race with us. Let me give you an example. A couple of years ago, we needed to open a position for our first design engineer. And we opened it, and CVs came in. All right? 56 applicants for a size of our agency means that I get to review 56 applicants. I'm the HR in this case. So CVs flew in. They were fine, clean, lookable CVs. But after a point, I felt that I saw nobody there. And why is that? Because everyone seemed to have done the same things over and over again. The portfolio started looking like everyone else's portfolios. Now, if I ask you, how does a designer portfolio look like? You're going to think about the same layout, unless the designer is in the top 1% of the world. And I felt a need to keep going, and I kept going. And by the way, a portfolio is a snapshot of the past. It's not a forecast of the future. So I wasn't sure what I had to do. So I kept looking. And I found someone working as a motion graphic designer and video editor at an advertising agency who had applied for the design engineer position at a digital product agency. Now, how are these two connected? Luckily, I discovered over a clunky portfolio with broken links and 404 errors, I promise you that this person had made a custom variable font for fun. They were making small iOS games. They were creating NFT art. They were battling with inverted corners in CSS. Who does that? Think about it. And that was the ugliest, most beautiful portfolio I've seen. And guess what? We hired them. All right? That was 2 years ago. Okay, thank you. Today, they are really a fundamental part of the studio, shipping full-stack design work for our most demanding clients in Greece and the rest of the world. A builder whose CV did not predict who would they become at the studio, but their side quests really revealed the true maker mentality. So we placed a bet, and we won the bet, and we moved on. All right? And don't forget where I come from. Resources are thin, so you have to pick the right one. And you know what? The whole studio is like that over these 8 years. Let me tell you real quick about my team. So Kostas is my co-founder. He's an unimaginably good engineer, and he built our soundproof booth for meetings by hand. I promise you, we could have bought one, but we didn't. And Ioanna writes front-end code, but she tinkers with clay for so many years now. She's such a creative person. And Spiros leads mobile development, but Spiros makes music since his teenage years. That was some real time ago. I'm sorry, Spiros, if you watch this. So what you see behind me are members of our team, because what you see behind me is a short film we decided to do to honor the builders last year as part of our rebrand. We could have hired a production studio, but we didn't. We wrote the script, we helped shoot it, we co-directed it, we inspected the location spots, and we featured our own team members in that film, because outsourcing such a thing would have made it a lie. Every one of us carries a maker mentality, a rebel spirit of curiosity above everything else. I'm a dropout myself, I'm just curious. My dev leads are interns that became leads and stayed with us for more than 8 years. And I hope they stay with us for a few more. None of our CVs predicted what we will become at this studio. And honestly, if you lead a team, and if you're hiring for your next designer, please try betting to an unlookable hire, to someone who might not seem the right fit in the first place. See what people are building on the side. These things really matter. And of course, if you're an IC, am I going to tell you to improve your CV and portfolio? No, I'm not a hiring manager. Just be a little bit unpredictable. Your side quests really matter in this business. And you have the makers. Okay, you got them in-house, and you'd think that's enough. It's not. Because here's the trap with agency work. In agency work, the more successful you become, the more you risk trading your ideas for other people's ideas. You have a couple of projects that drive portfolio brightness and many boring ones. All together, they require ruthless execution. And after a point, your team will be heads down executing, just wanting to get the job done and move on. And that's a problem with your makers. End of last year, that trap really closed in. We had so many projects, capacity maxed out, context was switching all the way. And after a point, you start noticing the quiet quitting in the corners. The people you hired for the makers, the builders, they are suddenly not able to deliver work because they're burned out, they want to quit, they want to get things done. And that's where you say, wait a second, we built this business, and I'm standing here in front of you because of pure experimentation and curiosity. And then we hired makers to run this race with us and keep the motion going just to sit them down in front of a pile of projects and see the joy drain out of their soul. No, that's a thing. And why don't we protect creative time for those people? I mean, we're an agency. We will always helping our clients' ideas thrive. But what about our own people's ideas? Time to brain dump on the canvas, research, learn a new tool, acquire a new skill, no strict expectations, no nothing. So we started Maker Months, okay? So every other month, every Friday, it's Friday morning, locked for 3 hours. The whole team breaks from the work we sell and builds their own ideas. No expectations, no clients, no briefs, no approvals, no nothing. Just you, the canvas, or any other creative tool. And you know what? Just present us what you're going to make at the end of the month. Is it a skill that you acquired? Is it a research artifact? It can be. Or is it a product? We can also help you launch it because that's what we do. This thing really costs money and time for experiments that might never see the light of day. We even push a few client meetings back just to protect that kind of time, and we love it because we treat it as an investment to our people and their time. At Quintessential, we really want to be a place where ideas flow, thrive, and at the end of the day are fueled by bold engineering. Keep that investment, and I'm pretty sure that the price you pay will be much higher because you're going to see your makers turn into order takers, and you don't want that. What you want is to keep them going for who they are and eventually make Maker Months irrelevant by keeping the fire of starting your own ideas alive and turning it into a routine, into a habit. 6 months in, many experiments. Internal tools the team built for themselves, plugins, prototypes, and many weird experiments. An experiment to record real-life sounds and turn them into Spotify playlists. A nutrition tracker, a medical exams dashboard with beautiful visualizations when you upload your medical exams. Even a design fleet that works alongside you and helps you do your best work. And of course, a route planner for site hopping in Athens. I mean, that might seem boring, but it already generated a lead, and we might end up working with a real client for this one. Things that exist because someone wanted them to exist. And the most important shift isn't even in the output. It's in the team. Joe is back. Maker Months end up helping the studio. So please, treat your team's ideas, if you're a leader, if you're a company, if you're an agency, treat your team's ideas as IP worth protecting. Don't copy Maker Months, find your own way, find your own path. But right now, at this point, creativity is one of the most valuable assets we have, and we have to protect it at any cost. If you're an IC, well, go build that silly idea. Don't wait for permission, don't ask for feedback, lock in some time, and go build something nobody asked for, all right? You will love the journey, and you will learn a lot throughout that journey. And of course, if you're going to break norms, if you're going to build under client pressure, if you're going to build your own ideas, you better pace yourself to the finish line, because you can't really sprint this. Okay, you can keep going, but you can't really carry everything all together at the same time. Last year, I effed around and found out. All right? So, in 2025, we did a massive rebrand of our company, repositioned ourselves for the new era coming. Okay? New vision, new strategy, new mission, colors, visual identity, a new website, even the short film I showed you in the beginning. And guess what? We did all of that in-house, because that's who we are. And we did it in-house while dealing with every other client project, training the team, managing expectations, keeping the studio profitable. If you're an agency owner, you'll understand. And that's too much to handle after a point. Just a few weeks before our launch, because we did a keynote, we brought some people together in Athens to present our new strategy, I felt nothing. I really wanted to quit. The story I was telling myself didn't stop working, actually, and I couldn't find a way or a reason to celebrate for all the work we've done over the past 6 to 8 months. Suddenly, I wanted to quit. I was feeling burned out. Luckily, I felt that exact thing before. Because in the Athenian marathon, back to the marathons, all right, everything is all right until you reach the 30-kilometer point. Then, in the Athenian one, the road tilts upward, the streets tighten, the noise spikes, and the crowd thickens. That's where parts of your body and your brain start to quit. It's a really hard thing, that 30-kilometer point. And suddenly your why is not really big enough for the pain. I'm pretty sure that many of you have felt a very similar thing or feeling, but at that point, and that's personal, even the cheering of people in the sidewalks stops being a motivation. It becomes a weight you carry as you try not to disappoint them for clapping for you. It becomes really tricky in your head. And definitely, you're into pain, your why doesn't work. And what got me through those last 12 kilometers, or 7.45 miles for some of you, was mental discipline. My next step, the next step in front of me, just my next step. The next kilometer marker, the runner running in front of me. And honestly, this is what gets us through all those years with the studio as well, and I tend to forget many, many times. It's your next decision, it's your next conversation, it's your next idea, your next client, your next project, but just the next. It's just a step ahead of you, not the finish line, whatever that finish line is for you, but you still have so many kilometers to go, and you can't think really about it. And of course, in business, and of course in sport, committing to the fundamental, to the tiny little details, to the steps ahead of you, just a few steps ahead of you, all those things compound, and at the end of the day, they really get you to the finish line, and creativity and inspiration knock back on the door, and they find you. Because it's a tiny interaction with a person, it's a small idea you thought of, but they really find you as you're doing the work and you commit to the fundamentals. That's what a marathon teaches you at 30K, the hard way. Your next small thing, the detail in front of you, to focus on the thing just right in front of you. And 12 months after our rebranding, and we're standing up here, we have a new company repositioned for the new era, and we have worked on more than 20 heavyweight projects across 7 domains all around the world. That's us. And for that reason, we just chose to make a film about the builders and all of the builders behind the scenes, because that's who we are. Master the fundamentals, protect your creative time, master your next step, and I promise you all, in this era, our best work is still ahead of us. Now, I've been up here for almost 20 minutes, and I haven't said the word once. I haven't said, can you guess? I haven't said AI, and that was on purpose. You know, the conversation everyone's having right now is about designers being cooked, developers not needed, LLMs hitting the world, and okay, I believe that we're all solving for the wrong thing here. Because new tools compress the pixels, the components, the first draft, the boring code. But they do not compress the effort and time and studying and sweat it took you to be here today. They actually liberate it. The decision to break hiring norms and bet on the video editor, the discipline to show up on a Tuesday when the work feels heavy, feels dead, the endurance to still be making things 8 years in. You can't really prompt your way up here. You can't really prompt creativity, and you can't really prompt endurance. New tools are here to help us train smarter for a marathon we are already running. And tell me something honestly. When did human race stop running and pushing through and getting things done? That's embedded in us. So let us all use AI to compress the work so we can be the makers we were all destined to be again. Learning to endure really keeps you in business. Somewhere down the road, creativity finds you and keeps you interesting. And guess what? You can't prompt any of those. This race, my friends, is far from over. It is just getting interesting. Thank you, Config.